Hello and welcome back to another video on the Infinite channel, and in this game I'm going to be playing a game called Dagon or Dagon, however you want to pronounce it. So I got this game on Steam. As usual, I got it for free. I didn't use any special code or something. I just see when games are free. I have a bot set up in my Discord, and yeah, I just added to my cart and I thought it was cool, so let's see what this is about. It's supposed to be a horror game. Certainly feels like it. So it's a faithful interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work, focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequence or inventory management here. Movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot. Okay.
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Oh, I can't see left here, but it seems to be raining. During the game, you'll encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey, others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of the trivia hidden. In order to find the secrets, focus your eyes and look for the elder sign. So, something about a circle, a branch, and a question mark. Okay, so the branch is shown here, and I can use my... Okay, it's the right click on the mouse and the left trigger on the controller. So okay, I still can't turn left. I still can't turn right. And on the floor, I see this here, but I'm just looking around. Okay. The visuals look nice, so the texture looks nice here, the lighting looks nice. I'm holding right click.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Okay, so he's thinking of taking this drug and just falling from the window.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
Okay, so that's morphine. I'm using left click to go to the next, to progress, and right click to inspect, basically. So yeah.
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Morphine entered into use into the 19th century and was routinely administered to treat severe pain during the American Civil War and World War I. It was also sold without restrictions. That's crazy. Morphium. After Morpheus, the Greek god associated with dreams. At the time when Dagon was published, morphine abuse, known as soldier's disease, already posed a big problem in the US. You can either discover trivia immediately or go back to them later in the main menu. Turns out display trivia if you find that feature distracting from the story. No, I think we'll keep that on. It seems nice. This is ink, an ink pot.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider. The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation.
Okay, so we are on a ship now.
So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
The Huns were Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and he invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century. Brutal, deadly warriors. I think I've heard of the Hun, Attila the Hun. I've studied about him a bit during my school days. British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans. Brutality. When German Emperor William II gave a speech to his troops on 27 July 1900, should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated, no quarter will be given, no prisoners taken. Just as 1,000 years ago, the Huns under the king Attila the Hun made a name for themselves, one that even today makes them seem mighty in history and legend. May the name German be affirmed by you in such a way in China that no Chinese will ever again dare to look cross-eyed at a German. And this is a boat, I guess, lifeboat.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Okay, I'm supposed to look at this.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Oh, that looks beautiful, bro. Oh my god. That looks so nice. I can barely see anything over here, but yeah, this looks beautiful.
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator.
Is that Orion's belt? The little above the center of the screen. Looks like not Orion's belt. It's called the Hunter.
Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight. The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
Okay, we have bag, we have some water, we have some light. I guess that's food. And yeah, that's about it.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. The change happened whilst I slept.
Yeah, now we are getting into the actual psychological
Its
horrors,
details
you know.
I shall never know. For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Okay, what? Okay. We are in the ocean. It has frozen over.
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
That's crazy.
For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
and doesn't look as beautiful anymore.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
I'm just scared I'm going to get jump scared at any moment, if I like turn around or something.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
Okay, yeah. Go towards your boat.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position.
And what is that?
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
Why is that moving? It looks so odd and unsettling.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might. Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things. For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time. That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue. On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
Okay. Do we walk now?
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal. All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
What are these, bro? Look at these. And this is rock, obviously. What is this? What is that? What is this? The eyes look so odd. There's nothing else to do. I guess we can just click again.
That night I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it. By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
What is that? It looks like a set of eyes. There's like two blue lights on the right side of the screen at the base of the mountain. Okay, it's 3. It doesn't look like eyes anymore, but yeah. Like I said, very odd. Like right now at the bottom right of the screen, there's like 3 blue dots.
An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface.
It's still
Too
there.
weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
Is the hill moving or something?
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more.
Just close your eyes and sleep, man. There's nothing
Such
more to do.
visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again.
Bro, you
And
have
in
to
the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
My brother in Christ, stop, don't
Indeed,
move now.
I
Sleep.
now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
Crest of the eminence. I can't see anything right now.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
Brother, where are you? Can't figure out where I am. I mean, based off the text, I'm on top of the mountain, and I can't see anything below.
I felt myself on the edge of the world,
Okay.
peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night.
Yeah, maybe don't stare into that. Let's look up
Through
towards
my
the moon.
terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness.
Why are you thinking about Satan right now, bro?
As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Okay, we are going into
Ledges
oh
and
my god.
outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent,
Fairly easy. You must be crazy.
whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
I mean, yes, you are crazy because you're hallucinating all of this, but you must be a different kind of crazy. Oh yeah, go into the valley, you know. Yeah, great idea.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon. That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself. But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Why are you going towards a huge stone?
For despite its enormous magnitude, and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith, whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Yeah, that's the last thing you should do, is head towards the monolith.
The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm.
Oh, there's like drawings and stuff on that. Maybe don't go. Like you can see some fishes above, so there's a white stripe, right? There's a lighter color stripe that shows the surface of the water, and above that are our normal fishes, and below that is hell and demons and Satan himself, I'm guessing.
And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures. The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books. Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world. But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Okay, so that is Dagon, I'm guessing. Many things in the story methods, such as telling the story through carvings, journals, character notes, islands emerging from the ocean, the call of Cthulhu, our fictional being and deities based on real events, Cthulhu mythos.
Plainly visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Doré.
The Dora Milaje?
I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men. Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto.
Okay, so we are near this monolith. So there's a carving of the monolith on the monolith. And there's two people on this side, two people on this side. So are they existing in the same realm as us? Like if I go over the mountain, I'll find these people. And I don't even want to see what they're drawing on the bottom because that looks hideous.
Or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well.
So we are under the waves or under the ocean?
Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint, grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
Yeah, these people look hideous, bro. They are so ugly. Why are the whales again down here?
They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips.
I hope I don't meet these guys, bro.
Glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
Ah, so he is huge. Anyways.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size. But in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe.
Yeah, exactly. They're imaginary. They're not real.
Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
I'm just waiting for the horror to just slap me in the face.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the
Queer
silent channel
reflections.
before me.
Sus.
Then, suddenly,
No.
I saw it.
You don't see anything, bro. Chill.
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view
Oh
above the
my
dark waters.
god, bro. I swear to god. Oh, fuck my life.
And loathsome, it darted like a
Oh my
stupendous
god.
monster of nightmares.
Why is it
to
so
the mind.
fast? Bro, I swear to god, I'll just throw my headphones and... You know what, these are just pixels. They can't do anything to me. I'll just left click and I'll just close my eyes, okay?
About which it flung its gigantic scale
Oh,
while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
Yeah, thank god I'm passing out, bro.
I think I went mad then.
Don't go close to the huge titan that you saw, bro. You're not Levi, you're not Eren, you're not the survey cops.
Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and
Oh,
of
thank
my
God.
delirious journey back to the stranded
Is it
boat,
back to the boat? Let's
I
go.
remember little.
Oh my, no, everything's shaking now. Why is everything shaking? Where am I? Left click. Please just go, bro. Just go.
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Where's... Okay. Yeah, something's going to come up, isn't it? Yup, I can feel it. I can feel the jump scare. All
I
these
have
noise.
indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
Yeah, let's just look at the boat. There's nothing else to see anyways. Is that it? Please be the end. Please be the end.
When I came out of the shadows, I
Oh,
was in
thank God
San
we're in San
Francisco
Francisco.
hospital.
Time to start an IT company. Let's go.
Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
Oh, thank God we escaped the horror. Thank you, Steam notification.
In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Father, save me please, in the name of the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Why is the door making that sound?
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Philistine? As in from the Philippines? I'm not sure. Dagon. I saw this guy was in JJK, I'm not even kidding. Toji defeated him in the second season. Second or third, I'm not even sure. Dagon was the main deity of the Philistines worshipped throughout Middle East, ancient god of fertility and crops. Dagon was a common one for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as patron saint, judge of the dead in an Assyrian poem, and underworld prison warden in one of the Babylonian texts. Often mistakenly taken for fish god due to wrong interpretation of his name. As in Hebrew, the word Dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that reside in the oceans. Is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Now, okay, can I move now? I still can't use WASD.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
No, I can do 360. Nice. What is that? Necronomicon, book of the marketer. Lovecraft's attempt to find a job in 1925 were influenced by advice he received from friends. He started freelancing from an ad for Curtis Woodwork. Oh nice, he was like a freelancer. August Derleth was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his work throughout his company Arkham House. Is this about the Batman prison? He's surrounded by numerous controversies. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. Okay. There's a mirror. Why are we going for the clock? There's nothing in the clock. Brother, what do you want to do? You could have just gone to the door.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing.
The thing? There is no thing.
I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease, and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Why do I feel like it's about to get real now?
Often I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm, a mere freak of fever, as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man of war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and
Don't jump
floundering
scare me, bro. I
on
swear
the
to God.
slimy bed,
Don't jump scare me.
worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks
I
of
hate
water-soaked
that. I
granite.
hate deep sea. I hate oceans. I hate all these giant creatures.
I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
I hope that day doesn't come.
The end is near.
What is that sound? Oh my god, bro, I don't want to take this. What
I
is
hear
this?
a noise at the door, as of some immense
okay.
slippery body lumbering against it.
I don't know how I'm going to play this game without looking at the screen, but here it goes. It's closed, bro. Why do you want to go there? Just chill here. It's a nice little atmospheric room, you know, you can just chill. Like, what's it in the letters? What's in the letters? What's that? Bro, can you chill? I'm trying to study here. Oh, there's something here. Elder sign. At another house where people were stirring, he asked questions about the gods, whether they dance often upon Lyrian. It's a protective symbol. See, just stay here. This is protection that can be found in various works of pop culture. 5-pointed star with an eye flame symbol at its center. In our game, we have used the original symbol as designed by Lovecraft, the form of a 6-pointed branch, which is sometimes included in letters to his friends. Where was the branch? Bro, I do not want to go outside. Okay, anyways, just
It shall not find me.
jump scare. Is this jump scare?
God, that hand!
Ah, no, that's ugly, bro. Oh my god.
The window! The window!
Where's the window? Go for the window, bro. Oh my god. Let me move. Go for the window. just jump. Okay. Thank you for playing. We hope you enjoyed immersing yourself in a little pool of cosmic horror. We would appreciate if you took a moment to rate, dive and check. I'm not checking out any other DLC, bro. Just stop. You've already traumatized me enough with that one jump scare. And you know what? We will exit the game. And yeah, this was really fun. This was called Dagon. And I'll have the link of this description in the I'll have a link of this game in the description, or I think YouTube automatically adds it, but I'll add it just in case. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Oh,
And scary stories have been accompanying men for centuries. They have many faces and forms, but what is their purpose? Why do we enjoy being afraid so much?
you already saw the views. It's genuinely
During our therapy, I'll try to
I guess that is an ad for the other game. No, I'm not hungry for more. I will exit. Morphine, Huns. Okay, so there were all these branches and I did only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you know what? Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.